Sweet, man.
All right, so I'm here with Charles, owner of Cubby's in Hell's Kitchen,
What's up, y'all? How's it going?
the coolest new burger spot in the
I don't
neighborhood.
know about coolest, but we'll see. Yeah.
One of the new guys popping up. We're having like a new wave of restaurants in the neighborhood.
Especially on 10th Avenue now. We have a lot of new businesses coming in, which is really great. So you should definitely go out and I'll introduce you to some of the new guys.
Some of the 10th Ave people. That's what I was going to ask you about. You're on 10th Ave in Hell's Kitchen.
Correct, yeah.
Big difference from 9th Avenue. 9th Avenue is like the legacy old school restaurant.
Yes.
10th Ave is building its own thing. Talk
New
about that.
school, it's a new generation. I think 9th Avenue is great. I love 9th Avenue, but for me as a native to the neighborhood, 10th Avenue was always my favorite. I always found it more calm, larger sidewalk, like a little few secret spots that are really good to eat at and drink at. But nowadays, I'm starting to see more and more pop up, and I'm glad to see that 10th Avenue is getting some more recognition.
Yeah,
it's
for
still
sure.
Hell's Kitchen.
It's the real Hell's Kitchen right there.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about your background in the neighborhood, your family, how you started here, a little bit of the journey.
So I've been living in Hell's Kitchen now for about over 10 years. So I moved here in 2014, right after I graduated college. My family was already in the neighborhood. That we all live on 43rd Street. We all live in the same building, actually. So we all rent a different unit in the same brownstone walk-up. So it's like we have like a whole house almost.
A little family
It's
sitcom
a
right
family
there.
compound. What I mean? So we all get to see each other a lot. And we've always loved the neighborhood. My dad's in the restaurant business and has a restaurant in Times Square, Cafe Natois, where I learned like soup to nuts, like dishwashing, bussing, everything. So that's where I got my love for the game. I love the hospitality industry. I love what it does for people, for groups, for all kinds of aspects, both like as the customer and the employee, So my dream was always to open up my own place. But it's had to cost a lot of money and time. I didn't know where I wanted to open. I wanted to make sure it was somewhere close by. And I was like, why don't I open in my neighborhood? Like I can walk to work. I know half the people in the neighborhood. My sister has kids that go to school here. We're invested in the community. Like, let's double down. So here we are, a year and a half later, and we become like a real neighborhood spot. We are serving up like burgers, sandwiches, shakes, and I got a few more things in the works coming too. So hopefully I'll be able to expand the menu a little bit and get some more options for the people in the neighborhood.
So you said you love the hospitality game. I can see that.
Yeah.
Every time I come in here, you have the gloves on. You're like sweating. You're working, bro.
Yeah. You got to go in the trenches to do the job. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's not like something you really see too often.
No.
That's like the old school family business type of way.
And I think that's where the beauty of it is too, is because I grew up working with my dad. My dad's had a restaurant for 50 years. He's as old school as it gets. And like he was always in the mix. He still goes to work every single day at 83 years old. So that's my inspiration. That's my role model right there. And then, I have the new school education. I went to grad school for hospitality. I've worked in a lot of different restaurants all throughout the city. So I'm trying to bridge that gap, trying to get the old school with the new school and create my own school of sorts, I suppose. And then, but the best way to know your business is to work in it every single day. The best way to know your customers is to see and interact with them every single day. So especially now as we're starting out, like that's the most important thing for me. It's like making those connections, putting the face to the name, and remembering the orders and everything too, because I think that sets the bar high, and I want the bar to be high for Cubbys because I want to make sure that this is like the neighborhood spot. I want everyone in this neighborhood to know Cubbys, go to Cubbys over any of the other competitors. Not that they're not good, but I want to make sure that I have that certain level of hospitality that comes with good food and service, but also I want you guys to know that I live around the corner. And I'm invested. Like if there's something going on in the neighborhood, I want to be there to help out, So that's just kind of my MO for my first venture,
Knowing people's orders, knowing their names, it's those little things that build the community up.
Right.
So what's special about Hell's Kitchen's community?
What's special about Hell's Kitchen? Well, I'll put it like this. Like during the pandemic, I noticed the city emptied out, except for Hell's Kitchen. Like I was going into Times Square every single day. I was going on bike rides to the city. It was a ghost town. And it just showed me how transient, a lot of these neighborhoods are. West Village, East Village, you have a lot of them. It's like the destination, but when push comes to shove, and something like a global pandemic happens, everyone's gone, everyone disappears.
Right.
I didn't feel that in Hell's Kitchen. In Hell's Kitchen, I felt like people kind of anchored down, and neighbors like really helped out each other. There was a lot of like community, even though we were all separated. Like you heard it at night, every night, 7 o'clock. I live across from Manhattan Plaza.
Oh yeah.
It was like, you know, it was as if MSG, there was someone playing at MSG.
For real.
Like, it's like those people are all in this neighborhood, they're all invested in this neighborhood, and they're showing up. Even though we can't show up in person, there's other ways we do it. So, to me, that was like the breaking point. I realized, like, wow, I love it here. Like, I feel at home, I feel like I'm in a small town, even though I'm in the heart of Manhattan. I recognize my neighbors, I become friends with them, I recognize their pets, their families, I watch them grow. Like, there's something to be said about that, especially in a place like New York City where it's always changing. There's a sentiment in Hell's Kitchen that doesn't, you know, and I really appreciate that.
I love that, man. That's really cool. So what are some of the challenges? I know that's the upsides of having a business being in Hell's Kitchen, but what are some of the challenges of having a small business and also a small business in New York City?
I think the hardest things that like to get by with are it comes down to like a lot of different things. Like there's always going to be challenges in the business, but I think that what's really hard is when you have to kind of you need to find advocates. You know what I mean? When I like, for example, if I have an issue with online ordering platforms, like I don't really have anywhere to go to. Like I have to use these. It's like a dance with the devil, where I rely on them for my business to keep my doors open to pay my rent, but they don't rely on me for my hamburgers. You know what I mean? So when there's issues that arise, I feel like it's like oftentimes like it's just the little guy fighting the bigger giants.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
right.
Which I think is something that a lot of people can relate to, especially like in this day and age we live in. Like I feel like, you know, I'm going up against massive competitors.
The big tech giants and stuff like that.
Big tech giants. You know, a lot of private equities buying a lot of different restaurants. They have they have a lot of marketing budgets over me. They have a lot more streamlined supply chain stuff over me, so they can get lower costs. They can get more exposure. How do I differentiate that with quality? Like I'd rather go door to door and like introduce myself to people than spend $1,000 on like an influencer to like blow up my spot virally.
Just on social media. They live in California.
Right. Like, I don't need the people from California coming here. I need my neighbors here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so it's like everyone always says cast a wide net. For me, it's like I'm going to cast a small net and get some really good fish. You know what I mean? As opposed to getting quantity. You know, so
yeah, that's
just kind of my MO. Because now what I see is that I have like people that come in 2, 3, 4 days a week. I mean, we're surrounded by Beacon High Schoolers right now. This is their watering hole for lunch. You know what I mean? They come here before school and after school. Like that's a huge honor.
That's special, right?
That's a big honor for you. You know what I mean?
The teenagers are choosing you.
VIPs. Like these are the VIPs. You gotta treat them with respect. You know what I mean? So I think like that alone, like. I'd rather have someone that comes in 3 days a week and spend $10 and hang out with me and we get to shoot and we get to talk and I learn about their life versus like the guy who comes in once, spends $50 and then posts it online. You know what I mean? That's great. I love that. But like for me, what's more important is like the day to day, is the people I'm going to see. Yeah, I want to see them I want to see them grow. You know what I mean? Over time. So, and I hope that sentiment gets across, and I hope that people like not that I'm going to ever turn away business, but like I hope that like. The locals see that and appreciate that, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So in the neighborhood, there's a lot of cool stuff, but it's also crazy over here. You know that. Yeah. What's some of the crazy stuff you've had encounters with on set?
Some of the crazy stuff that I've encountered in the neighborhood. Oh man, the list goes on and on. I think that, I think it's like, I love it. It's crazy, but I love it. It's like when you see the big bike groups going by, like I know it's like orchestrated by a couple of locals, and it's like always one of those things. It's like that's Hell's Kitchen showing up to me. You know what I mean? That's just like they're taking the streets, they're hitting the road with all these scooters and stuff. And I'm excited to say I'm going to probably participate one in the next couple of weeks.
I know.
I talked to John, and he's gonna hook me up. So we'll see what happens.
You gonna ride your bike?
He's got a bike for me to ride, like one of those e-scooters. So I'm excited for that. I always love seeing that. I think there's a lot of I think that this neighborhood has a lot to offer, and I think that like there's so many old school cats that like I just feel like are such novelties that might rub people the wrong way in some ways.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, these people like make this neighborhood so unique. Like, you're gonna have this guy that's on his stoop who's yelling at everybody, but like it's like, but that's my guy on the stoop yelling at everybody. Like that's he represents Hell's Kitchen just as much as I do. You know?
Right. When you get to know them, they have stories to tell you. They're just
that's the thing too, right? It's like it's people are so scary until you get to know them, and it's like as soon as you get to know them, and it's as simple as a head nod every day that becomes a hello. That becomes like a fist bump. That becomes like a conversation. And it's like that routine grows and grows. And I just love seeing that in real time. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. No doubt, bro.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other restaurants, maybe not the competitors,
Sure.
other food spots that you really like or have cool relationships with?
So, first off the bat, the Marshall next door. Like the Charlie Marshall has a farm to table, like pizza, brick oven kitchen. It is some, like, in my opinion, some of the like greatest food in the neighborhood. But Charlie is just also one of the greatest guys in the neighborhood. Like this guy has taken me under his wing. We have the same name, so maybe there's probably a connection there. But like he has been such a role model and such a great, advocate for me in this neighborhood. He's introduced me to so many people. He's helped me out. He's given me so much advice. He's told me who to avoid, who not to avoid, which people are cool, which people aren't. But at the end of the day, like, he's been really like a huge resource for me. As opposed to that, like where I like to go eat, I mean, I'm a big Turco fan. I go to Turco.
Turco is awesome.
I go to Turco all the time. If it's pizza, if I'm gonna go for like the real treat, I'm going up to Sacco's. Gonna see Peter at Sacco's.
I haven't been there in a minute. That's the real old school.
You know, that's like the place that's the Hell's Kitchen. Like if you ask someone who lives in this kitchen who grew up there, they tell you they have to go.
Yeah, we're like the old heads. You ask them, there's only one answer.
But if I'm like feeling lazy, I'm always gonna go to Claudio's. It's on the way. You know what I mean? It's on the way home. It's a great slice, so I'll stop there. I love, Restaurant Row is a great resource. The hand pulled noodle spot on 44th Street that just opened up is really good.
I heard about that.
And then I love, if I'm like really like gonna treat myself, I'll go to Kochi, the Korean spot up the block. They had this brunch menu that was crazy. I think they stopped brunch, but like, if anyone watching this right now, advocate for Kochi to bring brunch back. It was so good. Such a good Korean style, American influence, like American food with a Korean influence. Delicious, like really good stuff.
There's unlimited good food.
Yeah. Hell's Kitchen it's a great name for this neighborhood because there's like, you throw a rock, you hit any kind of cuisine. Like we have it all here. So like when I see all these like food influencers and food tours going downtown, and I'm like, you don't know
where to go.
You don't know what you're missing. You're gonna pay overpriced. Like you can go to Hell's Kitchen and get all the same stuff, and you can meet a bunch of locals doing it too.
The experience. That's
exactly
what it's all about.
And like, if you're gonna go out for some drinks, you can't go wrong with Rudy's, the Gaff, Beer Culture. The new spot that opened up, Nobody's Perfect's great. I would highly recommend that. But like, you got options in this neighborhood, and that's the best part is that you have a lot of choice and you have a lot of local small businesses. So I think that's another thing. I just have to plug that. Like you have locals here that are cooking your food, that are taking their kids to school, that are sitting next to you at the laundromat. Like supporting those businesses does a lot for this neighborhood. Like all that money spent stays in this neighborhood. Like, you come here to Cubby's, you eat a burger. I'm going to go over to Sacco's and get a pizza slice. Sacco's is going to go over to Burton Branch and get a coffee, and it all stays in the neighborhood, man. You know what I mean? So I think that's a beautiful kind of thing that we can do here in Hell's Kitchen. We have that opportunity, so.
100%, bro. Everything you're saying is just like, that's the mission at the end of the day.
Now too, you know what I mean?
But I appreciate you sitting down with me, bro, and doing the thing.
Dude, Red, I appreciate this, man. This is really this is what it's all about, right? We're building the community one interview, one burger at a time.
Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
All right, Charles. Thanks so much, bro.
Yeah. You want some ice cream?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Some Cubby's ice cream.
Yeah.